the wife suddenly says, you know what, Mary, find me a different rental. I didn't wait for them to say anything. I ran out of the house.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of That's Awkward. And I'm excited, Miss Mary. I'm ready for this one. But before we get started, let's talk about who are you? What areas do you service? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Mary of Mike and Mary team. And my team consists of two full-time agents.
Okay.
One Chinese speaking, or Mandarin speaking. And so we do serve Irvine and surrounding cities, you know, literally throughout Orange County. Yes, I have sold homes in Los Angeles, in Inland Empire, but really our focus is Orange County.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this? Yeah.
Don't give my age away.
I will not, but I always like to know.
I have been selling real estate for 34 years.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a long time, but I have so much experience in, negotiations and contracts, and that makes me excited.
Well, I love it. Very, very rarely do I get beaten that number as far as number of years experience, so I totally get it. And it's always good to have somebody that has been here, because you've seen the ups and downs of several different markets.
I have.
You've gone through that cycle several times, and a lot of people can't survive those things. That is a lot of the value that we bring to this industry now when people are talking to us. And today, we understand that whole concept, and a lot of people just can't bring that to the table. So,
that's very true. And many times, you know how I go to economic forecast to see what's going to be next year or so. Many times, because of my 34 years, and I keep numbers, I know what's going to be happening next year and next year. And every time I look at these economic forecasts, I see, that's what I thought. Or if somebody says something, I say, I don't think so.
Right.
But honestly, truly, a lot of clients ask me, Mary, what do you think?
Yep, we hear it often.
She knows it.
Yeah, exactly. We hear it often. So the big question everybody wants to know is we're going to talk today about the craziest moment, the most awkward. The floor is yours of what does Mary want to share about something that is definitely different in our industry that you experienced or you saw?
Talking about awkward, this is like maybe my first or second year in real estate.
Okay.
And back then we didn't have DocuSign.
Right.
And we didn't have anything if we had fax machines, but you couldn't take signatures from fax machine. It had to be a live signature. So we're ready to close escrow on this home. This is like 3 days before close of escrow, and I need a couple of final papers to be signed. And I call the sellers and I say, I'm coming down to get the last couple of papers signed. And they said, yeah, come on in. And so I drive there, I go there, and as I sit down and I give them the paper to sign, the wife signs it and the husband signs it. And then she said, he says, Mary, find us a rental so we can move into it next week when we sell this one. And the wife suddenly says, you know what, Mary, find me a different rental.
Oh boy.
And the husband said, what? And then she says, I'm divorcing you.
Wow.
And that's why I'm selling the house. And then the husband gets upset. He got really mad.
Well,
they start fighting.
I can understand. That was probably not the time and place. So,
and fighting, and it gets scary because now they're getting up into each other's face. I said, and I felt danger. I honestly felt danger. So I said, I'm so sorry. I have an appointment. I'm really late. I'll let you guys go. And I didn't wait for them to say anything. I ran out of the house.
So definitely awkward, and definitely qualifies as that's awkward, and obviously uncomfortable. But here's my question. What was the next conversation like? Because you had to have another conversation with him at some point. Do you recall that one?
I do, but it's not a happy one.
Oh, no. What happened? I want to hear.
I had a call from the police
Oh, no.
2 days later
Okay.
that they said there have been a murder, homicide at the house.
No.
And they said, do I know anything? And I just told them what happened.
Wow.
And so he had just shot her and shot himself, but he missed.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness. That's beyond awkward. And that's, let's dissect this a little bit. Because, first of all, everybody, I don't know the stories before we come on the show. So this is totally catching me off guard. And I feel like I'm catching you off guard a little bit.
I didn't want to say that part. I just wanted to say the awkward part, but you asked me.
Yeah. Gosh. So I don't even know where to go with this. And I personally have not experienced something like that in the business. And I can tell you that I've seen some crazy stuff in this industry, but to take it to the level where somebody is actually, I don't even know where to go with this. That's pretty extreme.
This was pretty sad. And because they had signed everything.
Okay.
And they had children involved, and the buyer felt so bad to cancel and not close escrow. So the buyer said, just for the sake of children, so the money can go to them, I'll close escrow.
Wow.
Usually, as you know, buyers don't buy homes with homicide in them.
Right.
So she moved forward, and we closed escrow just for the sake of the family.
So many different factors going on in there. And for a lot of people don't realize in our industry, we're a little bit unique being in Irvine with the different cultures and things like that. That definitely has an effect on the value of the property,
does.
even more so than in other places.
Yeah.
So
It does.
Wow.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. I did not have any
okay.
intention of telling you,
You
after
know what?
I said bye-bye.
Hey, the episode can't always have a happy ending. So, I mean, that is what it is. It's an unfortunate part. And kind of the purpose of this show really is to demonstrate, hey, it's not all
Yeah.
glamorous and hey, let's just go show pretty properties and everybody's always happy. Stuff
For me,
happens.
it was very, very difficult few months because they were in my mind all the time. But most importantly, I was just counting my blessings that I left when I left because the police told me he always had a gun under his bed. So the gun was in the house and I had no idea.
So, and the other thing that people might not have picked up on, you mentioned in the beginning, you've been doing this for 37 years, but this was early on in your career.
Yeah, 34 years. And back then I was probably 24, 23. I was very young, very naive. And I think at that moment, my gut feeling told me to get out. I just didn't like the way things were turning out. And who knows if I was there, if something would have happened to me. So I'm glad.
Well, I am glad nothing happened to you. And I'm sad and I'm sorry for that family. That was awkward. This whole conversation.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Probably
you
the
don't have to
most
apologize. That is okay. But
Sorry.
let's tell everybody, if they're looking for you, how can they find you?
You know, the best way to find me is maybe through calling me
Okay.
at 949-533-5040 or texting me. This is my direct line.
Okay.
And also another thing is mikeandmary.com is our website.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the easiest way to find me and locate me because it has a chat as well.
Okay.
Or maybe Instagram.
There we go. I
At
like it.
Mike and Mary Real Estate.
Okay,
If you ever forget, it's all about Mike and Mary.
I love it. I love it. So we'll drop those links down below so anybody that's looking there can find you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time today. And that was awkward.